everybody, this is Bobby from Ragged Poet. Long time no video. I've had a bit of a rough time lately and haven't felt like doing much, and I've been working really hard and things have gone wrong. Computers breaking, other nastier stuff, bills, sickness bugs, or life. Anyway, I've decided it's up and up from now because it's my birthday tomorrow and I want to be happy for it because we only get one a year. And I was catching up a little bit on YouTube after I fixed my computer and put a new hard drive in, and I saw a video from my friend Simon, Two Spirit, called My 100 Favourite Things, which was a VR to Toxic Tears. I haven't watched any more except Simon's. I haven't had time, but I thought I've got a few minutes and a little bit of battery on my phone. So I decided it sounds like a lot of fun, so I'm going to do it. And there may not be 100, there may be 101, there may be 97. They'll be a bit muddled, there'll be a few details, and they might change tomorrow, but the basics are there. So, here we go. Okay, I've made a kind of a little list, but I've also got a few of my favourite things here, so you can have a bit of eye candy while I'm yagging away. So, my favourite things, my very favourite thing in the whole world, of course, is my family. They're not things, but the love for my family, they're just amazing, the best family in the world. And my friends who are also like my family. So they're the big. I think my next favourite thing in the whole world is probably winter. And snow and frost and ice and hoarfrost. And all my life I've loved those things. I've loved that. The cold and the dark time of year. I get kind of sad in spring and summer, like the opposite of seasonal affective disorder. I get it the other way around. I just absolutely adore cold, rainy days when it's frosty all day and the frost never melts, snow, waking up in that amazing blue-white snow light and everything's so dampened and silent. And I love grey, cloudy days, and I love storms, and I love darkness and dark nights and heavy cloud. Don't do blue skies, not me. I just love all those things. I also love cats, especially black cats, but we have 6 cats and 3 of them are black, but we just rescue cats. I love goats and all horned creatures. Let me see if I can get one about Pluto. You can come say hello, baby. Pluto. Here's one of my little babies. Pluto. There's his ears anyway. I love all horned creatures and antlered creatures. I love tea. I love black tea. I only drink black tea. I've never drunk milk in my life. I love storms, and I love dark nights and short days. And I love early morning, even if it's dark, preferably if it's dark, before the whole world is awake. Because it's like a new world and a new, like no one's put footprints in the snow, no one's muddied up the kind of doormat of my day, if you like. It's just all awesome and new and fresh, and anything can happen, and it feels full of inspiration and wonder. So I love early mornings. I think I said I love storms. I love garlic. This is a random list. I love the tarot, especially my favourite Deviant Moon Tarot deck by Patrick Valenza. I love Lenormand. This is my favourite Lenormand deck in a little bag. It's the Natalie Rose Winter Solstice Lenormand, because I also love everything that reminds me of winter, and this is the winteriest deck I have. I've been putting it on my Instagram challenge lately. So it's got little snowflakes everywhere around the thing, and the tree is a perfect winter tree. Probably one of my favourite Lenormand cards ever, actually. It's definitely my favourite Lenormand deck. That's by 7 Stars, and I think you can still get it on Etsy. This is a really old one, but I think they've upgraded it now with extra cards and things. So I love everything that reminds me of winter. Like, where's it gone? I had a candle. This I got this in an op shop for my altar for winter, just a wintry candle. I love candles. I adore candles. I used to make candles. It was my first business, making candles for a living. And I absolutely love them. And I have lots of candles and night lights and tea lights and incense burners and all of that stuff. But my house is very dark. It doesn't have much light. I mean, it's got a lot of windows. But I don't like overhead lights, and some of the power points need fixing. So I have a lot of candles. But I had a big bargain recently. I went and found these, like this green one, which is scented in kind of apple and cinnamon, I think. And they were normally like $4. They were down to 50 cents. So I bought 40 of them because I use so many candles. I also like tea. I like my black tea. I love mugs. This is a special mug that was made for me by my children when Blue, my grandson, was first born. And it's got my goats on it. This is Gypsy, who I still have. This is Fluffy Bum, one of our cats, and the stars. This is Moon, who recently died, but Spike looks a bit like Moon. This is Goat Poo, which I'm continually surrounded by. It says on the handle, it says my loyal darlings. And on the bottom it says Phoebe, Nick, that's my kid's dad, Yarn, Polly, on the 4th of March 2014. And this is a snowflakey moon. And inside it says, may every cup of tea be made with love. Think of us. Isn't that awesome? I think it's the most beautiful thing ever. I also have another lovely mug that Polly bought me, an owl, but I can't. That's kind of lost at the moment. Oh, this is another mug I love. This is my, only because in England I had an Arga cooker, like it's an old range. It was from the 50s, and it's the best cooker ever, and I really adore Argas. I'd love to have another Arga in my house. So I have to go back to my list and go back to things. I love books. Books of all kinds. I think I've got some books, a little pile of books here. So with books, we've got, I love detective stories. I've loved them all my life. Like I've loved Winter and Horned Animals and Cats. I love detective stories. Oh, I love salt lamps. I've got a lot of salt lamps. This is a tea light holder, but I've got a lot of salt lamps. Like Agatha Christie and old ones, old style ones. P.D. James is an East Anglian novelist. She writes really great detective stories. I love poetry. I love Christina Rossetti. I love her poetry. She wrote, there's a Christmas carol which is classed as a carol. It's actually a poem called In the Bleak Midwinter, which is probably one of my favourites. And she wrote that. I love William Butler Yeats. There's one of my collections of him. And he wrote, Had I the Heavens Embroidered Cloths, and that one. What else have I got in my book pile? Oh, I love I've been going through my old whole foodie kind of cookery books, and I love the Cranks recipe book. Cranks was the first vegetarian restaurant really in England, and whole food restaurant in London, and I still have this ancient book from way back then. I also love lots of literature. I love Jung. I like all kinds of Jungian and psychology. I love psychology. That's one of my old Jung books by Laurent van der Post, who was a Jungian student. I like Roland Barthes. He's a kind of French philosopher, if you like. This book, Image, Music, Text, is really good. Actually really good for tarot. There's another one he wrote called Camera Lucida, which talks about the image too. Both highly recommended if you're into image and symbolism. And I love symbolism too. I've got more books down there. And other detective books. My battery says it's low. I love teapots. This is one I've had a very long time. I call it the Clanger, because there used to be a programme on TV called The Clangers. It was made in a tiny little pottery around the corner from where we lived when I was pregnant with my first child, Tabby. And I had cups and that to match, but over several journeys and boats and planes and going around the planet, a lot of the cups have got broken, but I love that teapot. Sit it up there. I love symbolism of all kinds. Obviously, this comes into tarot too. I've got a lot of books, but that's one. I love fairy tales and all, like I said, literature, and I particularly love Jack Zipes and Marie von Franz. They both write a lot about fairy tales and deconstruct things and stuff like that. I love making books. I make books myself as well as reading books. This is a book I bound. I actually bind them, and and I love photography. This is a book. It starts off, it's about a walk in the wood, but it's about a bigger thing. It's about life. So you go for this walk, and it's about how things get bigger and more scary as you go. So this one basically has this little toadstool in the trees, but as you go through, there's no words. The trees get monstrous, the toadstool gets bigger, and the trees get more and more kind of scary and darker, and the toadstool gets bigger, and the trees turn into monsters. It's about nightmares and dreams and keeping going, even when you are afraid, and facing your biggest fears. And it just kind of goes on until you get the great big monster one. But then there is a safe road home. There's a bit more to that book. There's another one I made for, this is, because I like the form of books, but I like playing with them. This one is, it's a load of pictures. It's a book structure that I was trying to reproduce the thing you get when you're looking through train windows. So I took a lot of blurry photographs and fitted them in this flag format. So when you go like that, it looks like the views of the train window blurring past. And this is a very common thing to see in England on the platform. You see there, Mind the Gap, Worcester Foregate Street, and it opens like the doors to a train. So that's another book I made. And I made this rag book, which is called Where Were You, Daddy? And that's basically about growing up without a father, and again, seeing things that are kind of, looks like a couple of trees, but then they turn into monster trees. You know when you're a little kid and all the shadows turn into things, and the moon turns into a monster moon, and the monsters come out and the animals come out at night. And I made it with old flannel shirts, because that's what reminds me of strength and men and daddies. And then the big claws are coming to get you, and then there's a little child's hands. Help. That's another, I have a weird brain. And these cards here are all like mail art. I used to do a lot of mail art, and these are called artist trading cards. Various ones I've made over the years. Some I haven't traded. You get different themes and swap them around. I love stones and crystals. This is one my friend Annika sent me, but I've got a few more over there. My favourite is moonstone. These are my ohms. They came from England. They're all made out of the wood, the actual wood of the ohm represents. I have some tree oracles as well, but these are the actual wooden ohms, and you can get like there's a Celtic tree oracle. That's a card from it there, that birch card. This one here, and it comes in a big blue box. I've showed it before on one of my videos, but I've got a couple of others too, but they're all similar. I like music. I love music, all kinds of music. I love Neil Young. I love Leonard Cohen. I love the Eagles. I love Audio Slave. I was very sad about Chris Cornell dying. I love this guy, Nick Drake. Again, he died very young. An amazing guitarist. And I love Gregorian chant and monk music, as people call it, and choral music, like they sing at King's College on Christmas Eve. But I just love that Gregorian chant when it kind of fills the cathedrals. I love old buildings. I love cathedrals. And I love England. I miss a lot of that in England. I love being vegan. I love eating vegetables. I love a lot of food. I love marmalade. I love toast. I love Pix peanut butter, which is made here in Nelson. It's absolutely amazing. And I love Marmite, except in England, in New Zealand, we can't get it. We get their version of Marmite, which is completely bastardised and wrong. This is one I imported from England. It's like a yeast spread, but this is over here. We have to, if you import it, that was a friend bought that, but if you import, you get a couple of British shops that import it, and we have to call it Blighty-mite. to get round the thing. We're not allowed to call it Marmite because this New Zealand company bought the rights to make Marmite 100 years ago or so ago. Now they do sell it here in tiny little jars, but it's not called Marmite anymore. So I love, this is one of my favourite teas, Dilmar English breakfast tea. Talking about candles, I love writing. I write poetry, I read poetry, I write journals and stuff. I love to learn. My whole life is like, I just love learning everything. I just love learning. I love embroidery. A lot of you know I make tarot bags, part of my living, and they're all embroidered. I like free machine embroidery. I take the foot off my machine and use it like a pencil. I love all oracle decks, love Lenormand. I love wolves, I love hares. I collect china. This is a birthday card that just came from my mum. Love how she sends me the most amazing card with these two beautiful hares on it. And I collect china with hares on, like this is my, one of my china with hares on. Oh, I love the moon and the stars, and I love astrology. This is a card my friend Di sent me for my birthday last year, for the moon and the stars, which is just on my table because I love it. I love numerology. I love witchy china. I love the sea. I love broomsticks. I love besoms, the Scottish word for a broom. I love my ankh, which is around my neck, but my mum bought me it many years ago. I don't know if I can put it in the video here. Don't know, that's not working. Anyway, it's a gold ankh, and I love it very much. I've been wearing it for a lot of years now. I love justice, and I love passion in people. I love people who have passion and hobbies and things that they're really passionate about. Because if you're passionate about something, then you understand passion in others, and I have a lot of passion. I love magic, and magic is everyday stuff. I love the colour. I love black and silver and grey, and I love long hair. I love holly because it reminds me of Christmas, and I love Christmas. I love beanie hats. I love old houses and cottages in the wood, and I love walking in winter, and I love towers. I told you before I built a tower. I love essential oils and oil burners, I think I've said that. I love my Macs, my iPhone and my Mac computer, even when they break down. I love fairy lights. I love wearing old clothes and torn, ripped jeans and baggy clothes. I can't stand tight clothes and I can't stand fashion. I like dry sherry, which is kind of hard to get in New Zealand. I'm completely in love with this brand new vegan cheese that's been created in New Zealand, and it's made by Angel Foods, and it's their cheddar. I have to show it here. Angel Foods cheddar, dairy free, and it is so good. It means I can have pizzas and all those things again with the same taste of cheese. I never ate hardly any cheese anyway, but I do love that. I love my vegan aioli that I make. I like to cook. I love cooking vegetarian food. I love wood fires, and I love bonfires. I love the smell of wood smoke. I love misty mornings, and I love bats, and I love spiders' webs. I love old wooden floors, and I love my bed. I like good coffee, and I like really good olive oil. I love vitamin B12. It saved my life. I love the truth. I love conversation. Good conversation, discussing things, all kinds of things. I love, which a lot of people don't love, I love Brussels sprouts. Oh yes I do. I love, love, love Brussels sprouts. I love my singing bowl, which is down here. On the floor, I can give it a, it's quite a big one, my singing bowl. It's quite big. Quite hard to play because it's a big one, but I won't take up more time. But I got that in Cumbria many, many moons ago when my children were little, and a Buddhist monk there chose it and said, "This is the bowl for you." So that's why I've got that one. I love YouTube. I love my friends on YouTube and Instagram. I don't like a lot of the stuff on there. I don't like the way social media is being overtaken by things, but I do love YouTube. I love witch hazel trees, and I love winter sweet, which smells amazing. I like trees that have branches and then the flowers without the leaves on. I love pumpkins. I like everything that said winter, naked trees without leaves. I like everything that's cruelty free. I love water, like Halloween and Yule and Christmas. And I must have done well over 100 things now, but I think you get the picture. These are just like a few of the things that I love. So that's it. That's my little video. Hope you've enjoyed it. And it's just a bit of fun, really. But isn't it nice to be grateful? I love gratitude. Gratitude is our greatest magic. And that attitude of gratitude is amazing, which is why I decided to do this video. Because there's so many things that we actually love if we think about it. And I used to keep a gratitude journal, which I wrote everything in. Each day I would make a list of gratitude things, and it can be simple. It can be a cup of tea, it can be the sound of the leaves that you tread on when you go into the garden, it can be a shadow on the wall from the sun coming through the curtains. These things that fill you up, this is gratitude. That's magic. That is real magic. And you feel it inside you, and you know, and it changes the world. Like a sun makes a shadow and changes everything. This attitude of gratitude changes everything. So a gratitude journal is one of the best things I think you can do. And then when you read back on this thing, like when you're at a down day, you read this journal and you fill up. So I'm getting a bit passionate now. I'm going to go. And have an awesome weekend. And yeah, lots of love and thanks for watching. And thank you, Simon, for giving me the heads up on this video. Love you all. Bye.